Hi, today I want to talk to you about a very important topic, which is the mechanism of labor and delivery. When we usually talk about birthing, the first thing that comes to mind is the uterus and the contractions, right? Of course, this is an important part, but it's way more complex than that. There are other parts that are really involved, and it's important to learn about them in advance to have an idea about this whole mechanism so that you can prepare in advance for your labor and your delivery. I will start first with the pelvic bones, okay? Don't worry, we're not going to talk about any medical names. You don't need to learn any of those. I'm just going to give you an idea so that you can picture it in your head and get a better understanding about how it's all connected together. So first starting with the pelvic bones, okay? You can feel this pubic bone here. It's the lowest bone that you can feel, and then it comes and connects. You can feel also your pelvic bones, and then all the way back you will feel on the lower back two big bones also coming on the lower back. So these bones come and connect all together, and the part of the lower spine, the vertebrae, the lowest vertebrae, the tailbone, you can feel it, play also a part in your pelvic bones, okay? So it's shaped like, if you can imagine, like a rounded shape more or less, and it is empty from the inside so that the organs come and sit there. You have your uterus, your vagina, you have your bladder, and from the back your rectum, okay, that are inside this cavity, right? And what you also need to imagine is that your pelvic bones, you have the upper part, which is bigger, and then it starts to narrow down the more we go down towards our lower part of the body, okay? This is one, so these are our pelvic bones, and then we have the perineal muscles. These are very important muscles to learn a little bit about. So the perineal muscles are all the muscles that cover the lower part of your pelvic bones, and they are very important. Of course, there are the holes for the vagina and the urethra and the anus from the back. So, but otherwise it covers the whole part of your lower part of your pelvic bones, and they play many important roles. I will give you an example to make it easier. So usually if we cough or sneeze, we contract our abdominal muscles. This creates pressure, and if we didn't have our perineal muscles, the organs that are in here, they will be pushed out. So the perineal muscles will contract to prevent this from happening. On the other hand, when those perineal muscles relax, is when we usually go to use the bathroom, they will relax to allow us to either pee or defecate, and then they contract again. So we have our pelvic bones, we have our perineal muscles, we also have many ligaments and many muscles that are attached to other parts of our bodies that we need to be aware of. Just a few examples. So on the sides of your uterus, you have two big ligaments that are attached to the sides of your pelvic bones. You have a muscle that comes from the lower part of your vertebrae, from the spine, and also comes and attached inside of your pelvic bones. You have a thigh muscle, the abductor, that comes from the knee all the way up, and also again attached to one of your pelvic bones. So you can see that different parts of the body can affect the posture or the positioning of your pelvic bones. And I think you are starting to get an idea that there are many parts, if they are affected in one way or another, if there's asymmetry between your right side or your left side, if you have some stiffness in some parts of the muscles in anywhere around this area, this is gonna affect the mechanism and the dynamic of the labor. Because also what you need to understand that when the baby is passing through the birth canal, it's not just as simple as that. The baby has to flex its head down towards the chest in order to take a smaller diameter, because as we said, the pelvic bones start up wide and then narrow down, so the baby needs to pick a smaller diameter and to rotate inside this cavity to pass through the birth canal. And he has to also rotate his shoulders also again to adapt to the different diameters inside this birth canal to be able to pass out. And so of course how the pelvic bones are shaped, any asymmetry again can affect this dynamic. So in our next video, I'm going to offer you yoga exercises to help you start stretching all the hip muscles that are important to be not stiff, so to work on the stiffness in the muscles of the hips, or the ones that are that affect the hips as well, and also some exercises, some yogic exercises to help you with the motility, the movement of the hips. So again, this helps with the flexibility, but also to be more aware and sensitive about this whole area that we usually neglect. So to bring back some balance between the right and the left side, to give you more flexibility and to prepare for the labor. And as soon as you start practicing those exercises is better. So because it takes time, right? Flexibility needs time, and building up this motility also takes time. So I will see you with the next video with some exercises. I hope you found this one interesting, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or send me a message, and I'll be more than happy to assist you.